Good evening, fans. Welcome to the latest episode of the 5 Reasons Depressed Panic post-game show after a 121 defeat at the hands of the Charlotte Hornets in overtime. Um, yeah, I'm here with my guys, Jonathan Ramlakan. You can follow him at 3 Piece Combo. And I'm here with my man, Brian. Brian, where can they follow you on Twitter? Like, what's your Twitter name?
You can follow me on Twitter at Brian is the King. There's Brian with the Y. So a lot of people spell it the other way. So at Brian is the King, and y'all can see my amazing tweets.
So I like that name, Brian is the King. Well, Brian is the King. The last time you were here, you told me that you were not worried at all about the Miami Heat, and I am one that people have said have been prone to panic. So I'm going to allow you to start. Are you still not at all worried about this team?
All right, so I want to clarify. I just want to say last time I said we didn't have any evidence of this team healthy, right? And in the absence of evidence, I thought that because, I was like, all right, this is probably going to be a pretty decent team when everybody comes back together. I got the evidence today, and we're terrible. So now the concern is creeping in. And I'm not panicking. Hypothetically, this team could still go on a run. They're still close enough that they could catch teams in front of them. But I am concerned. I think it's time to really reevaluate this team and question whether or not they could even be a playoff squad. So, yeah, I'm concerned.
So the comments are starting to flow in, and they're looking a lot like I was sounding about 2.5 weeks ago. My man Jonathan Ramlakan, I found out today that you take notes during the game. So what did your notes tell you about this clusterfuck of a basketball game that we just watched?
Well, my girlfriend said just start taking notes so I don't forget shit. And I was like, all right, that's a good idea. But, man, honestly, before I came on the post game a little bit early because my stream was a little behind, I thought we were going to win that game. So I came in. I was all happy. I see Royal. I see Alejandro. They're a little upset. I'm like, dang, something's going to happen. And who else is it going to be in this game other than Malik Monk? Malik Monk is what happened in this game. You know what I mean? Like, what else? He came in. He's shooting 46% before this game. He came in shooting 46% from deep. So he was a problem. And the pick and pops we couldn't defend. The driving kicks we couldn't defend. Just basically anything that would collapse our defense, we couldn't get out enough to recover and guard those 3-point shooters. And it was just it was embarrassing to see that after we came out in such a strong fourth quarter in the beginning, we came out to almost a 10-point lead or something like that. We collapsed again. You know what I mean? And Jimmy, he can't do it all. And we just collapsed. I mean, we started breaking down offensively. Didn't defend, didn't do anything. Basically, they finished the game on like a 17-5 run or something like that. So, yeah, just horrible pretty much overall. There's some good points in the game, obviously, but no, we lost to the freaking Charlotte Hornets. So there's no positives in this game today.
So at the beginning of this, we were talking about how this could potentially be the start of it all. We can go streaking and work our way back into it. And my man Clutch was one of the guys who was doing that to me through text. He was telling me that. But before I let him go, I want to thank Alex Campbell for his $4.99 donation. Said Dragic looked like Drew Brees, and I think that was pretty dope because Dragic did look relatively old, and Mr. Seven Credible. I don't know. I've lost the comment already. Could you put it up for me, Alejandro? But Mr. Incredible also with the $10.99 donation. I'll read your comment whenever we can find it. But Adam,
too many comments. Bear with me.
I got you, man. I got you. But Adam, man, you're one of the people who were pretty optimistic at the start of this game stretch, this stretch of games, where the schedule softened up a little. What did you see tonight, and are you still as optimistic as you were at the beginning or 2 games ago?
How optimistic do you think I was?
You said that this was the start of a streak.
I said this is the start of a new, that this team would start winning more games than they were before, okay? And they will be, right? They have an easy schedule coming up, but this team, nothing's changed, right? We got Goran Dragic back. We got Jimmy Butler. Goran had a terrible game. Tyler had a terrible game. Jimmy was playing very well until the 3-minute mark of the fourth quarter. Bam couldn't outplay Zeller for some reason. I don't know why, but he forgot how to play against Zeller. So this is a really, really bad loss. They were up 10 with how many minutes to go? 5, right?
Yeah, something like that.
5 or 6 minutes to go.
5-6 minutes.
So this is just a disaster.
I think it was 340 something.
3 minutes, really?
Something like that. 340 something.
So even worse.
Wow.
Yeah, so I want to shout out Arbroth for the 199 donation. If Strauss, if Struce, I think is who he's talking about. If Struce keep playing like that, trade Robinson. Listen, so let's get to some of the individual performances. Struce was a highlight in the first half. Brian, did you like what you saw from Struce? And let's, I guess, go into comment. Did you see enough to the point where you're comfortable trading Duncan Robinson and giving Struce all of his minutes?
Well, all right. So I did like what I saw from Struce. I mean, how can you not, right? When you shoot like that, what do you have, like 17 in the first half? Something crazy like that.
Yeah.
It felt like he couldn't miss, and he was confident every time he touched the ball, he was shooting. And that's fantastic. But to say that, I'm comfortable trading Robinson to play him, nah, like we got to see that over a full season. That's not to say that Struce can't be a plus shooter going forward. I absolutely think he can be. But I mean, we just saw Duncan Robinson have one of the greatest shooting seasons of all time. Hypothetically, though, I do think that having a guy like Struce maybe makes it easier to trade Duncan, or maybe makes it easier to lose him in free agency. But I don't think that you move Duncan because of Struce, if that makes sense. We got to see more.
Okay. So, Ram Khan, I'm gonna put you on the other side of it, and we want to shout out Justin for the $4.99 donation. Where is Ethan? and good evening, Clutch. So, there's some people speaking to you in the comments, but Jonathan, I'm gonna throw this to you because we're talking about Struce versus Duncan. I mean, Duncan had 16, shot 4 of 7 from 3, but was it enough? Like, I mean, how did you feel about Duncan's game tonight?
Yeah, he collapsed when we needed him most. You know what I mean? He was like Avatar. Shout out to Michael on that reference. He was the one who used it first, but it was like the Avatar because when we needed him most, he just disappeared. He doesn't do anything for us on the defensive end. He just gets targeted, and offensively, if he's not hitting, what is he doing? And he missed the free throw when we really needed him to at least hit that free throw or hit a deep shot. And it seems like as the game goes on, he hits less and less. You know what I mean? Whether that's him running out his legs or, something, or he just doesn't have the clutch gene in him. You know what I mean? Yeah, he gives you enough, but it's not worth 15 to 20 million if you're looking at it objectively now at this point.
That's a tough one. I mean, in a market for shooters, I would think that he would command at least 15, 16. But, I mean, I think you're right. Like, this is not the first time that we've discussed Duncan Robinson disappearing when the team could use an offensive boost. I mean, as our best player, the idea was that he would get better when Jimmy came back. But let's talk about another player who has a whole lot more responsibility. Clutch, and I'm going to throw this to you. Let's talk about Tyler Hero. Like, I mean, you alluded to it earlier. Like, Bad doesn't do what he played tonight justice. That was a shitty game. That was fucking terrible. Just being honest with you. Like, and it's far less than what we expect from a player who we're looking at to become a core piece of our team moving forward, if not one of our primary trade targets. So what did you see from Tyler?
Nothing. I saw him hit 3 threes, and he had a few nice passes, but he was, again, overpassing. I don't know how many times they have to pass it to the corner to Andre Iguodala to get the message that he's not a shooter. He was 3 of 5 or 3 of 6 today, but in general, that doesn't work, especially in crunch time. That's not something you should be going to at the end of games. Tyler Hero did not play well today. Bam was not looking for his shot. I'm very disappointed in Bam. And I told you right before the show started, I don't know how Bam got up to 21 points. Like, I don't know how that happened. I felt like he had 8 points, and if you had told me that he had 21, I wouldn't believe you. So, look, overall, Tyler Hero, he had a bad game, but the last 2 games, he played well. Tyler did. It felt like he was the only one who wanted to win those games. But look, the team defensively, you can't have Duncan Robinson and Tyler Hero together on the court at the same time for prolonged stretches of the game. It's just not a thing. It's not sustainable. Last year it worked because it was new, it was fresh. Teams didn't know how to prepare for that, right? We had a whole new team full of guys that no one knew how to scout for and how to prepare for. That's over with now. So this team needs to make adjustments right now, or they need to bring in new pieces.
Yeah, so I see some comments talking about Goran Dragic. Look, let's be honest. During that stretch where we didn't have our full team, Goran was out here playing 30 minutes a game. So I'm not expecting, but Goran Dragic should not be some of the players that we're expecting. Well, he is one of the players that we're expecting to lean on, but not as heavily as we have been. Let's talk about somebody who we should be able to rely on. Clutch mentioned him, Bam Adebayo. Brian, I want to talk to you about Bam. It's always like it's the same song with Bam Adebayo, where we're always leaving the game wishing that he had been more aggressive, and like Clutch said, it basically seems like he fell into 21 points today, and it feels like the Zeller, whichever the fuck one that was, played him to a draw tonight. Like, what did you see from Bam Adebayo?
No, I saw the same things that you guys did. Like the whole game, I'm like, dude, shoot the damn ball. Like it was just a few weeks ago, or a few games ago, where he said he was going to be ultra aggressive, and it seems like since he said that, he's gone back to just being really passive and just kind of floating throughout the game. And the thing is, man, he should be putting up all NBA numbers. Like he has that talent. So it's frustrating to see a guy who can dominate on any given night just kind of be another one of the guys. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just him thinking, okay, well, since Hero and Dragic and Jimmy are here, I got to defer to those guys. Like maybe he just doesn't see himself in that same tier. But for them to win these games, they need Bam to be aggressive and to think that he's the best player on the floor, whether it's true or not, because he absolutely can be. So it's just frustrating to see him not take advantage of his talent.
So also I'm going to shout Mr. Seven Credible again for the 549 donation. He said, all right, we need to get real about Hero. Is more than a 6th man of the year type. Objectively, we should have traded him before. Now the mystique is gone. And I completely agree. Like, I think me and Clutch had a very unpopular opinion about Tyler Hero. I don't know if I'm ready to share that one just yet, but it's not very popular. But just to put it bluntly, the one about Tyler Hero and his ceiling. So
okay.
What it is that he can potentially do as a basketball player. We got our man Michael Christian joining us. Michael, thanks for joining. Thanks for joining the Depression Hour here on the 5 Reasons Sports Network. So tell me, what depressed you most about this shit fuck of a game?
Max Strus.
That depressed you?
Yeah, because he made it look closer than it really was in the first half, right? Like Max Strus goes off for 17 points, so everyone's thinking, "Hey, it's fine. We're still in this thing, right?" We have a 3-point lead at halftime.
No, we were happy
because Max Strus scored 17 points. All right,
the Miami Heat account was tweeting, "We need some Max Strus teenage pics." Like we're up 30 or something.
Yeah, I don't understand. And then listen, I love Jimmy. But Jimmy goes and yells out, "Give me the effing ball." And immediately after just goes completely cold. Like if I was on the Hornets, I would have clowned him for that. And they're probably clowning him now. And I don't blame them. He demanded the ball. We did nothing but give him the ball at the end there. And then listen, that 3 was awful. We talked about it. I think it was Saturday night or some other time. We're like top 3 players you'd give the ball to at the end of the game. Jimmy's not he's number 3 at most. After this happening over and over again.
So I appreciate you bringing it up because that was something that I wanted to get to. And Ramlakan, I'm going to throw this at you. What the fuck was that last possession in regulation?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. When you have a coach of the year contender, at least last year, not this year for sure, but coach of the year contender last year that, Coach Spo, perennial coach, that's the best you can draw up. Like we draw up so many better shots for Duncan Robinson to get a dribble handoff 3 than for him to get that one. So, it's hard to think other than like the hero ball shot that, just give me the ball and get out the way and then, go from there, and Coach Spo didn't draw it up. But other than that, I don't know why we took a shot like that at the end of the half or the end of the game.
So did Spo really draw that up though? Because I feel like it was just Jimmy saying, "Give me the effing ball."
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He did. He let Jimmy take control, which you got to know at the end of the game like that, he's the last guy that should be taking that shot.
But even still, though, there was enough time on the clock for Jimmy to do what he had been doing, which is putting his head down and going to the rim or drawing contact. The game was tied. We didn't need a 3 to win it. We just needed a bucket. And
we needed 1 point. He could have missed a free throw.
Could have driven to the basket, trying to get a free throw. Like, dude, I don't know.
You could have jumped. Who was on him? Was it Monk?
Probably. I think it was Monk, yeah.
Or was it Graham? Because he could have just shot over either of them.
Sorry, Monk. Don't you mean Malik Curry?
Right. Yeah. So let's talk about Malik Monk and his explosive game. He seems to be another player in the laundry list of them that tend to have their best game of their lives against Miami this season. Is it people getting up for Miami, or is it just our defense is that bad, Brian?
I mean, I think it's the defense, man. Like, if you notice, all these dudes are guards. Like, all these dudes are the players that Hero and Robinson are guarding most of the night. So, like Malik Monk should what do you have, like 36, 38 on the night? Like, he should never do that against your team. If he's doing that, if him and Garrison Matthews and guys like that are putting up numbers against you, there's a huge fucking problem with your defense. And I think that's just it. Our defense is terrible. They can't guard anybody.
I'm just glad Brian's worried. I caught the beginning of this and I heard Brian say he's worried. I'm just happy about that because Brian went from everything is fine to now it's all on fire. Which
I mean, when Malik Monk tortured you, it's like, all right, yeah.
Wait. So let's not just limit it to the guards now. Everybody got this work tonight because when we're talking about Bam had 21, but Cody Kareem Abdul-Jabbar Zeller had fucking 19. Let's talk about that.
I get it. I'm just saying that, like, generally we expect Bam to be an All-NBA defender. So, if a guy like Zeller has a good game once in a while, fine. But it feels like every night it's somebody that, our guards are defending that's good, that's getting off. So
it's whoever gets in that soft spot of the zone. It's whoever gets, when we start playing that zone and whoever gets in that middle soft spot of the zone, it's like how to beat the Heat 101. Learn how to take floaters from 10 feet in the paint. Like, that's basically all you got to do.
All night.
It'll be all night. Literally. Like, we played a zone and we switched too much. Like, why were we switching every time with Hero and putting Hero on Devontae Graham to get cooked? Devontae Graham cooked us in the last game before COVID last year. And like,
but who else are you gonna switch on to him though? Because you can't put Max Strus because he's gonna get cooked. Duncan Robinson's gonna get cooked.
You just let Butler stay on him. You fight over the screen, you stay on. You don't. They switch too easily. It was just all right. Hey, you know what I mean? They didn't even try to fight over it. So
that's the defense we've been doing since the big three. They've been doing that switch. I hate that switch defense. But there's so many times where it looks terrible. But
it's even worse because you're just completely destroying Avery Bradley's use on the court when you're switching him onto a Cody Zeller type of player. Like, what's the point of that? Avery Bradley is good outside on the perimeter. What's the point of switching him onto a big man where he can't do anything about it?
Yeah, so I'm glad you brought up Avery Bradley, and I'm gonna throw this right back to you, Clutch. He was another one who was fucking terrible tonight. 0 for 4 from the floor. Listen, there was a lot of blame to go around in this game. Just being honest with you, and y'all know where I'm at with it. Like, I've been here the whole time. This team is fucking terrible in certain spots, and they won't be better until later on. I'm worried. So, Clutch, talk about Avery Bradley's game a little bit.
He did nothing. He was the worst player on the court. There's nothing else to it. What did he have? 4 shots?
Yeah 0 for 4.
Yeah, 4 shots, 0 for 4. He was a minus 14, which was the worst for the entire team. He did
3
nothing.
fouls.
But it doesn't help that he was switched onto a big man every other possession. That doesn't help the team, and it doesn't help him. But yeah, he had a bunch of open threes. I remember 2 or 3. They just missed. Nobody was on him, so.
That shit sucked. Kelly Olynyk. I mean, this was one of Kelly Olynyk's better games. He had 11 points, 7 rebounds. What else went on tonight?
Iguodala played well. Iggy played well. If one player was not a negative on this team, it was probably Iguodala. You know what I mean? He was the one guy that at least was making the right passes. He was hitting threes more than I've ever seen him hit threes ever. You know what I mean? It's Max Kellerman's I want Iguodala. At that point, Iguodala, that was the Iguodala we was getting tonight. So Iguodala played well. I mean, you got to give him some sort of props because he was the only guy that felt, outside of maybe Jimmy, that had a positive impact in this game.
Yeah. So, sorry, I just saw the Mark P comment that said 0 on the floor in Avery Bradley podcast.
I thought that was an amazing comment just there. So we just played. We just got finished with the Hornets. We got the Wizards next.
They're gonna cook us. Bradley Beal and Russell Westbrook are gonna cook Tyler Hero. And
you want to know something though? I feel better when we go to play somebody like the Wizards as long as they have their guys than other teams because there's a star over there. So I feel like everybody else will play up, right? Like this. I'm being serious. I think this team, when it's a better team, they play up. It's when they play the Charlottes and the Knicks and whoever the hell else, like the Wizards without Bradley and Westbrook. They just decide we can show up later, which is kind of how they're treating the season. I wouldn't be surprised if they came out and looked decent against the Wizards, no matter how bad tonight was.
And you know what? You know what's so terrible about that? I wouldn't be surprised if the Wizards were up on us 20 points in the first goddamn quarter. It wouldn't surprise me at all,
Two
bro.
completely different sides. You wanna
That's
make a
what I'm
bet here?
saying. But neither one of them, okay. So I was on the Five on the Floor podcast, and we were talking about the identity of this team, and
There isn't one.
Losing.
but not talking about Heat teams of the past. I want to throw the same question to you guys. What is the identity of this team? Like, what is it? Like,
Loser.
Yeah, just
No, the
Just
identity of this
collapsing.
team is literally let's try it. Hey, what happened last year? Let's try that again. And they can't make it happen again. Right? Last year, they're trying to recreate the bubble. It was Goran playing the best he's played in a while. Right? Jimmy playing the best he's played in a while. They're like, let's hope that happens again. It won't. It just won't.
Yeah, I mean, I think the identity is ideally to be a ball movement team, a team that shoots a lot of threes, has really good offense. I think defensively, Spo wants this team to be a really switchy team that's, that could guard anybody, but they just don't have the personnel. And if the offense isn't flowing, then you got nothing.
So the offense not flowing, I think, is an interesting point because that was our identity. Ball movement, different players, any given night, you can get anything. And what that kind of sums up is a team that is a sum of their parts. And for a team like that, if one of the parts is off, then the whole machine is off. So what part do you believe needs to be most on in order for this team to even look like it can go back to winning games? I don't want to talk about contending or making the playoffs, just winning games consistently. Like, what part needs to be most like themselves? And I'll start with Jonathan, and we'll go around the circle.
we need to take about 3 or 4 of those parts and trade them off for a better part that we can plug into there, and then that will fix a lot of things. That's all I gotta say with that.
Player names. Take off the comments. I want to see our names.
What you do?
No, they got to take out the banner too. But
yeah, I mean,
don't trade depth in a COVID year. Dogecoin millionaire. And of course, Jimmy or bust. But even with Jimmy, we're a bust. So Brian, where are you at with it? Which one of our pieces need to show up the most so that we can look like a real NBA team?
I'm gonna say Duncan. I just think his shooting changes so much for this team. I think you go back to a lot of those games where he was off, and I think the results look different if he's himself. But it's felt like he's been kind of this season. So if he's shooting, like I said, 5-10 from 3, or like, as one of the games where he's making 8 threes, I think you win. I think you win a lot of games. But if not, then I don't really know what he's doing out there.
Clutch.
Wide open threes where Tyler Hero has enough time to take a dribble between when a player arrives at his location, those need to go in. The Avery Bradley 3-pointers where he's standing in the corner with no one near him, those need to go in. You need to go from one of the worst 3-point shooting teams in the league to one of the best. Your defense will not be improving with Duncan Robinson and Tyler Hero at all.
Yep.
So shoot better. That's it.
Michael?
I mean, I agree with Adam. It's offense for me. This team just doesn't have the pieces to be a defensive team. They just don't. Right? Like, everybody wants to say it's the Miami Heat, it's a defensive team, but then if you look at last season wasn't a defensive team either. Right? If this is basically the same roster and you're trying to do it again, you got to get the offense together. Something has to start making shots, somebody. So
I don't know what it was. It may just flash across my eyes, but Alejandro played a comment where somebody said this team actually played well. There was some optimism in the group tonight.
Hold on. The comments are saying they hit 19 threes. It was the defense. Yes, okay, but what are you going to do about the defense? They're playing the worst defenders in the league in the game. You can't improve that defense.
There's nothing that they can do about it. Like there was a conversation tonight about Strus and Duncan, and it was like, well, Strus is the better defender. Like, tell me how that helps.
Because if you put 1 to 10, Duncan is maybe a 2 defensively, and Strus is a 2.2. So he is better. That 0.2 improvement's a big deal, Royal. Come on.
but we're comparing two terrible fucking defenders.
Exactly.
That is what we're talking about here, and that's the point where we're at, Jonathan. Jonathan, please try and make some sense of it. Oh, I want to shout out Bless, and I'm gonna throw this to you. Bam, one option, and Max better than KZ. Are you saying Max Strus is better than KZ Okpala out there? I mean, look, this is the one thing that I will give Max.
He's not
Strus.
wrong.
He's not.
wrong.
I will give him this about Max Strus. Max Strus at least attempts to score the ball. So, but I like the first part of that question about Bam as the number one option. We've talked about this needing to be the transition because Bam is the most talented player. Does Bam even want to be the number one option on this team? Is my question to you.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it. You know what I mean? It doesn't look like, unless there's nobody else on the team that can handle the ball or do anything with the ball, it doesn't seem like Bam doesn't want to step up into that role. You know, once we got even Hero back, before we got Jimmy back, he was down to put his back to his basket and try to do dribble handoffs and not take trash defenders like Cody Zeller or whoever he had on him that other night that to the rim, because he has the speed to do it, and he's not even trying to take the jump shot anymore. He was so aggressive taking those one dribble jump shots, that quick jab step jump shot against Brooklyn, and he's not doing it anymore. So no, it doesn't seem like he wants to be that number one option anymore. And Jimmy had to come in again in the fourth quarter saying, "Give me the fucking ball." I mean, obviously we know what happened after that, but you know, he shouldn't be having to do that against the Hornets. You know, Bam should have already secured it in the first 3 quarters. If we're trying to save Jimmy for the fourth quarter, try to let Bam do it for the first 3 quarters and had 25 by that point. And he didn't do it until, you know, it was too late for us.
Okay, but hold on. I will say this. Do we really want to save Jimmy for the fourth quarter? From the standpoint of, look, I love Jimmy. No, I love Jimmy. I think Jimmy's great. But Jimmy doesn't have a good jump shot, right? We can all agree on that. He takes it to the basket really well. But when you need to create offense and he has the ball, if they learn to clog the paint, right, there's not going to be much out of Jimmy. I feel like it needs to be backwards where Jimmy's the one setting it up for Bam in the fourth quarter, right? Because I feel like Bam can hit that mid-range, has the options for post if he ever took it. You give Jimmy the ball with 3 seconds left. Do any of us have confidence it's going to go in if he takes a jump shot?
He's gonna get fouled.
Yeah,
If he takes
yeah.
it to the rim,
Expect him to
if he
try to
takes it
drive
to the
it.
rim.
So
and
it's like,
at least he'll attack. At least he's
Yeah.
looking to do it. Like the question is, like, does Bam want to do it? So I want to thank Bless for the 199 that they said Bam can be better than number 3. Not a chance, brother. Alex Campbell with the 499. He says the Heat have become too bought into the offensive system, and it's become too mechanical and predictable. Let's talk something about that. That might be a point that I want to address to Clutch. Clutch, do you think that too many people are just trying to play with this exposed system or whatever?
Yeah.
Great take, Adam.
perfect.
Just insightful, bro. That's what I'm talking
Okay.
about, bro.
Bam, like I said, Bam needs to break the offense. He has to stop overpassing and playing within the offense because he can be the best player on this team if he wants to be. He can hit those threes if he really wants to. He could take Cody Zeller off the dribble if he really wants to, and he's not. That's the problem. Jimmy is not a shooter. He takes a 3 at the end of the game where he's not supposed to. Tyler Hero needs to look for his shot and stop overpassing. He needs to stop being a facilitator when you already have Bam Adebayo and Jimmy Butler on the court. That's what needs to change. Avery Bradley needs to hit at least one of his open threes. Iguodala can't play like finals Iguodala for you to have a chance to win a game. Jimmy Butler can't play like superstar Jimmy Butler to try to win this game.
But that's the reality, though. This team cannot win without Jimmy Butler or without everybody having these like superhuman performances. I want to recognize the comment. The God 06, he says, "You guys are overreacting to this. The Hornets are a good team." At one point, like I've been hearing that.
You might be a Hornets fan.
Bro, listen, after every loss, I've been hearing that I'm overreacting. At what point, how many games do we have to fucking lose for me to be properly reacting to what I'm saying on the court? Brian, how many more games is it that it's going to take before I'm at the proper level of reacting for how many fucking games this team has lost in the first 20 games of the goddamn season?
No. Bro, it's because we hate the Heat.
Oh yeah, somebody said they don't know why I'm a Heat fan because I love this team. I love this team. But Brian, how many more games does it take before I'm properly reacting to this shit?
No, I actually think that you're properly reacting right now. Like, I mean,
Brian,
they're at a bad spot, right? Like, if the playoffs started today, they'd be out of it by a pretty decent amount. So, yes, it's not a good team, right? There's nothing else to say. They're just not a good team.
Like that, and that's what I'm saying. Like it's kind of like we've been waiting for everything to fall in place. Like I've been listening to the excuses. Wait till we're healthy. Jimmy's not playing.
Bro, every 5 seconds somebody comments either I hate the Heat or Adam hates the Heat or Royal hates the Heat.
Yeah, somebody said Royal needs a Snickers. I don't care.
Someone's saying you guys can't react without emotions. Okay, well if you want that, we'll
Hold on a
direct you to
second.
the
Hold on a
History
second.
Channel.
No, like here's my thing. At the beginning of the season, before the season even started, I thought this team could make it back to the Eastern Conference Finals. I did. We all thought that, right? I love this team. I want them to do well, but I'm pissed because they suck.
I said that publicly. I've said it on every platform that this fucking network has. I thought that the Heat were an Eastern Conference Finals team at its floor. And yet and still, when I watch this team, we are looking like a lottery team that does not have a pick this year, Jonathan.
Yeah, don't remind me of that, man. That's
for another team.
Right now, the Heat currently have the number 4 overall pick that we would not get.
Hey, you want to know the sad thing? You know what we look like? We look like the NBA version of the Texans right now, trading away picks that are going to be way too high because we suck.
Jonathan, go ahead. Take the conversation wherever you wish.
Yeah, Jonathan, they didn't say you hate the Heat.
Let's
so you
relax.
do it.
Let's relax on that. They'll still be a playoff team.
All right,
let's just say that first.
Let's bring everything in perspective here. All right, on a game where Bam Adebayo had a shitty night, a very unimpactful night, he had 23 points, 9 rebounds, 10 of 15 shooting, 3 or 4 from the line. That's still a decent stat line, right? We just want him to be a little more aggressive. That's something we want more from him. So that's a positive. Duncan, you know what I mean? 16 points. 16 points, which isn't bad from Duncan. Sure, we want him to hit a little bit more. You know, we want him to hunt his shots a little bit more. When he hunts his shots, that's when this team is really playing at its best. So we want to see Duncan hunt his shots a little bit more, just take some more of them. Taking 7 threes isn't really enough. You want him up in the 10s, the 11s, because that's when our offense is really flowing and creating good looks for him. So 16 points is good for Duncan, but we just want him to hunt it more. Yeah, Tyler Hero definitely overpassing, but 8 assists, not bad. You know, Goran Dragic, I hated the way he shot, but he did everything else well. He rebounded the ball well. He assisted for almost like 30 points. You know what I mean? I think 7 of his assists were for 3-point shots. So that's something that's great. We kind of have somebody that can facilitate. Iguodala, you know what I mean? He played well. He's not somebody you want to rely on that long, but he's still somebody that you can at least have as a Swiss Army knife off the bench. It's kind of like a Shane Battier role, a veteran that you can rely on that can be a point guard, a de facto point guard, and you kind of have, you know, something, you know, a stuck offense. You know, who else we had? Jimmy, you know, good old Jimmy, 25 points, 9 of 17. That shot he took at the end was trash, but he needs to just take it to the rim more. That's what he's good at. You know what I mean? As long as he takes it to the rim more, he creates fouls. He gets the team a chance to kind of just catch his breath and then move forward and set ourselves defensively. So, you know, we're good to go from there. And as far as the standings go, I don't think we're that far behind. We're what, 6.5 behind. We're half a game behind the Charlotte, or a game and a half behind the Charlotte. So we're a game and a half out of the 8th seed.
Not anymore. Not after this loss. I think we were a game and a half behind coming into tonight.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
At this
We're
point, it should be 2.5.
Okay.
2.5
Yeah,
game behind.
Right. Okay, yeah, 2.5 right now. But we're only a game out of the play-in thing. So that play-in tournament might actually be something that might benefit us this year, you know, given whatever happened. But, yeah, I mean, what else? Strus did good. You know, Strus was nice in the first half. I was definitely riding that Strus train. You know, I was definitely on the Strus juice in that first half. I was like, man, this boy can't miss. So
No, Jonathan, I really appreciate that. Like, I thank you for bringing us some level of perspective back to the show. You know what I mean? That was really positive. And exciting. Yeah. Oh, what? Oh.
No, I'm saying, Ro, you're back. You're
yeah. I'm good. I'm calm now. Adam, how many of these people are we finna trade for Bradley Beal?
Well, first off, to answer Jennifer, she's saying, who is Adam interacting with? I was just answering the comments. The comment came up on the screen. I would respond. I would nod my head or not. But look, here's the thing.
We don't have a pick, Isaiah. We don't have a pick.
The overarching theme that we need to address is that when Jimmy Butler is on the court, Bam Adebayo doesn't play the way he's supposed to. And we saw it in the finals. Jimmy Butler had 40 points in a win against the Lakers. Bam came back. Jimmy had like 18 in that game, right? Same with the other way around, right? When Bam is on the court, Jimmy doesn't play as well as he could. When Jimmy's on the court, Bam doesn't play as well as he should. So that's an issue that needs to be addressed. I don't know if it's a fit issue, but Bam shooting more threes and shooting more in general fixes a lot of that problem.
So my question is, why doesn't the coaching staff push Bam to shoot as much as we know that he probably should?
Because he's
Coach
playing
F.
within the offense.
Yep. Because they're not changing the offense.
They're
They're
not. The offense is Duncan, right? Like, they're not changing that offense. And if they do, Duncan becomes useless, and you can't pay him $18 million a year.
Yeah,
right?
but I mean that's a good thing, right? I mean, you'd rather have that.
No, it's
than-
not a good thing because that's the best way to play. And then on the defensive end, you can't have Tyler and Duncan on the court together. So then, what's the point? There has to be a systemic change. There has to be a trade. You have to consolidate some guys. You need more two-way players.
You said the magic word, trade. What in the hell are we looking for, Michael?
I mean, I still gotta think big. I gotta think. I understand that the playmaking at times has its lapses, but I think it's because the guys don't know how to play together again, right? They've kind of forgotten since they haven't been able to practice or play together for a while. I think you need to find a way to rebound and defend inside and not put all that pressure on Bam. I've been an advocate for getting a 5 instead of a 4 because I think you can have Bam play the 4, right? If you get a decent enough 5. And I know that, what was it? Greg said it too on 5 on the floor when you guys did it the other night. He was talking about getting a 5. So I look for a 5 or a 4, try to get some size, get some rebounding. But I mean, if they get a point guard, I'm not going to be mad about that either.
I mean, I think I'm with Clutch in the sense that I don't want to trade for any like temporary fixes at this point. But I do believe there's something. Oh, absolutely, Lonzo.
Do not trade for PJ Tucker. Don't trade for Oladipo.
Don't
Right?
trade for Kyle Lowry.
Don't trade for Kyle Lowry. Don't trade for DeMar.
Don't trade for Lonzo.
Do not. I mean, no, Lonzo's a bit different because he's a restricted free agent, and you could just sign him. But do not trade for temporary fixes that won't solve this team's long-term outlook. Right? If you trade for PJ Tucker and waste resources on a team that won't even get back to the Eastern Conference Finals, you wasted resources, and then he leaves and he goes to a different team in the offseason. I'm at the point now where you only make a trade. No, Courtney, that's not what I'm saying. You only make a trade for Bradley Beal, Zach LaVine, John Collins, someone who's young, who's going to stay on this team long-term and won't be viewed as a temporary fix.
Okay, so Jonathan, where are you looking for a trade?
I mean, I'm hoping that we beat the Wizards 2 games in a row. You know what I mean? So
Okay, wait.
so
Do you
Bradley
actually?
Beal,
No. Hold on. You've been the most positive here tonight. Do you think that's actually going to happen?
Fuck no.
I think it could. Yeah, no, because their defense
No,
is great.
no. Hold on. No one's saying it can't. I still contend that if this team goes right now to a best of 7 series against the Nets, I think the Heat could win. I'm saying, will they? Right?
Yes.
Will
I'll
they
take
win
it.
both games?
I'll take
yes?
it to win both. Yeah, I think we're gonna get our feet under us. You know, having our team as a whole group together for a couple games, or is it next game? Is it next game?
That's the next game.
Okay, so we have one game under our legs. You know what I mean? We got a day off, and now we take it on Wednesday, and I feel like we could do something with it. Hopefully, as long as we don't. I know we talked about how we've been doing it. As long as we just don't over switch and let Tyler and Duncan get cooked just over and over again, I think we can win that game pretty handily because their defense is not good. So if we get our shooting going like we did tonight, and not just have how many times are they going to run? They went on an 8-0 run in the 10-2 run in the second quarter. In the third quarter, they went on like a 17-4, 12-0 run again in the third, and then to end the game like 14-7. Like they went on too many runs. You can't let team just score that much and then you not score at all. You know what I mean? You're not going to win those games when you just get bleeding 30 points over 15 or 12 minutes, just a 30-point deficit from just giving up runs so much. So I think if we just keep the offense going, we can get these wins. But we got to score more points. That's all it is at this point.
Just like you talked about the Wizards having a god-awful defense, we too have a god-awful defense, Jonathan Ramakan. So, Brian, okay, so Clutch wanted to, I don't know, bro, don't do that to me, bro. Don't put it in the private chat because I just read it out loud. Clutch, what did you want to say?
Okay, so I was looking at the comments. Yeah, like this one, Zach LaVine is not going to get cooked. The point is to get rid of Duncan and Tyler from that starting lineup. Your defense will get better by getting rid of those two. I promise you, when you have only one liability, it's a lot better than two. The other thing is, someone said, do you really think Oladipo would leave? No, he wouldn't leave because you could sign him this summer for free. Like,
To a lot of money.
do not trade for him if you know he's coming.
Okay. So, Brian, we skipped you on that last question because Clutch wanted to be rude and interject his own thoughts.
Into the private chat too.
Right, exactly. He could have just said something.
Yeah.
Brian, who do you want to trade for, bro?
I really like Lonzo. I mean, I think that, he moves Tyler to the ideally for me, he would move Tyler to the bench. I think he'd be a great 6-man, destroying bench units. I think that he's a much better defender than just about anyone we have in the perimeter outside of Jimmy and I guess Bam technically. Also, he gives Bam a lot of easy shots. I think that there's a lot of times when you have Goran and Tyler on the floor and, they have the ball in the hands, but they're not really looking for Bam. I could see Bam getting like 3-4 lobs a game from Lonzo. It'd be beautiful. I'm with it. I mean, again, his shooting is a concern, but, I would really like that move. I don't know how much it would cost, though. That's the question is, what are the Pelicans looking for?
And not only that, Precious would benefit a lot from a Lonzo Ball acquisition because he would be receiving a lot of lobs from them too.
That too.
Yeah, that's true. What's this? Stop being negative Nancy's. We play good except for turnovers.
13th in the East.
Bro, this is what I'm saying.
This is what happens when you have expectations of a finals team, right? This is why you're so upset because you expected them to compete for a final spot. And now you're 7-13 and you lose to the Hornets. You beat, the Kings by 1 after Jimmy scores 30. No one here is being negative because we enjoy it. It's because we're pissed. Because we were wrong at the beginning of the season.
Listen, bro, I'm going to tell you what the thing is. Like with the comments and with everybody, it's like the goalpost keeps moving. Like it's every time we come back here, it's like, oh, we're gonna start a win streak versus these trash ass teams, and then we come in here and we get the doors blown off our ass in overtime, and now everybody's saying, wait, not yet. I don't want to hear that shit no more. Like I'm tired of hearing that. Like it's getting. I just want to win the damn game.
You want to know how bad it got? The
What?
5 Reasons Sports account tweeted, "New 5 on the floor up shortly. No hope trafficking tonight."
Thank you.
Got to Ethan and Greg, guys. Don't tell us. Look, Ayo Val, you keep putting my name in the chat. It's not me. Go listen to the 5 on the floor. I promise you they'll be pissed too. But yeah, come at me, bro.
There were times where Greg called. I think it was the Clippers game where they were playing without Kawhi and Paul George. He called that a must win. Okay, we lost that shit. This was another must win. Okay, we lost this shit. Next game feels like another must win. Why are we playing must win game against the Wizards? That's what I want to. That's what I want to talk about. Let's get to that. Why are we playing must win games against the Wizards, Clutch?
This is better. I like this, Adam, better. No one can hear you, Adam.
Exactly.
No one can hear you.
Hold on, go back to that comment. Someone said, I know you want to trade Jimmy or Bam.
No! Well, that's ridiculous. Shut up. Like, stop commenting, whoever that is.
No, Ariel, no. Adam, I know you want to trade Jimmy. Alejandro,
No. It's just Ayo Val's been at this all night, bro.
Oh,
So
that name sounds familiar as somebody who disagrees with my takes very often. But anyway, they can't get it together. He can't concentrate. So I'm going to throw this to you, Brian. Why are we playing must-win games against the Wizards?
why are you saying Brian's name like that? Brian
Right.
didn't do anything.
Brian didn't do anything to me. Brian didn't attack me personally, but I feel like he was the only person over here who said he wasn't worried before. So I feel some type of way about that. And I feel like I'm enjoying listening to him change course. So, Brian, why are we playing a must-win game against the Wizards?
We're playing game. Oh my God, I can't speak. We're playing a must-win game against the Wizards because we lost to shit teams over and over and over again. So
Huzzah.
now we're at this spot.
a Wizards team that is high on emotions because they just beat the Nets.
In an epic comeback fashion, by the way. And then they're confident against this team because they took us to fucking overtime when we played them too. Right, Jonathan?
No, not overtime. No, we won.
No, not overtime. It was a close game, though.
No. He's not requesting a trade.
So, Jonathan, are you
Relax.
the ever optimist of the show tonight? Are you confident? Oh, you already said you think they're going to win the next 2 games. I got a simple question for you then. How?
I mean, we're going to do the most simple thing. The easiest way to win a game is to score more points than the other team.
Bullshit.
Mathematically,
We can't stop them
we're
from scoring.
we're undefeated when we score more points than the other team. I guarantee you that.
This is the best post game show I've been on in a long time.
Come
guys.
on, Ioval. Can we Alejandro block him for 5 minutes?
Yo, listen, he's a hope trafficker. I can tell you that. From his comments.
He said, "What if Bam doesn't want to play here anymore?" Like,
Oh, ban him! Don't
Come
just
on.
block his
Come on,
ass.
man.
Wait, how about this? How about we trade Bam to the Wizards? Right?
For
That's
Bradley
what
Beal.
we'll
Let's
do.
trade
No,
Bam for
no.
Bradley Beal.
No,
Garrison
we'll-
Matthews.
There we go
Mm.
for Garrison Matthews. Listen, that's
So-
a hot trade.
Or we need to trade him to the
okay, I
Hornets
see a
for
comment.
Malik Monk.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. I seen a comment about Malik Monk. Somebody said Malik Monk got dropped 30. I'm not sure if they meant that in the same way that I would have said it. Like, they might have meant it as, bro, come on, this is an anomaly. Malik Monk scored 30 points. But Malik Monk, Garrison Matthews, who the fuck else done torched us this season? Oh, Devontae Graham was also added to that list.
Terrence Ross, Cody
Terrence-
Zeller,
Come on.
Yeah.
Terrence
the
Ross,
Detroit Redskins front court.
Terrence Ross is on the Random Scrub Heat Killer Hall of Fame, bro. Like, he is their Jordan. Okay, he's their Messiah when he plays the Heat.
Reggie Jackson.
Bro, that's what I'm saying, bro. We get torched by everybody.
Yeah, we don't discriminate. Everybody torches us.
This is what I'm saying. Like, I can understand. Oh, we garbage. Oh, okay, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, bro, we're trash on defense, bro. Like, I don't. Oh,
You got a layup for a game winner.
that's
Dude's like
bro,
5'6".
Come on, bro. Come on, like that's the type of shit that I'm talking about, bro. It's like, oh, they say Garrison Matthews torched us last year.
He
He
did.
torched us 2 years in a row.
No, you
Buddy
remember that
Hield-
year we lost to the Wizards? Last year when we lost to the Wizards and they didn't have anybody that night either.
Yep. They didn't
Bro,
have Brad that night.
That
Yeah,
was
they
his
didn't have
career
Brad.
night.
They didn't
That
have
was his
Brad
career
Roll.
night. That was his career night before this year's career night,
Yeah.
where he torched our ass again.
I didn't even
Well-
think they had Hachimura that night either.
Royal, I think if Greg or Ethan were to listen to this, their ears are gonna bleed.
Yeah.
Mine are. Mine currently
Hey,
are.
they had to listen to it last night when I suggested that we scrap all the fours that we got on the roster, put Jimmy ass at the four, and let's rock. Like, that's how I'm feeling right now, because I don't believe that there's like none of them other guys that we tried. Like, that's just a wrap.
Ricky, we need you to come on. We need to have Royal calm down a little bit.
Oh, trust me, that's not going to do the trick for you guys if he bring his ass on here like talking like he been talking. Like, that's not going to work for me tonight, bro. We just lost to the fucking Hornets.
We're
Like,
gonna have Ricky Royal the rematch tonight. Like,
you already know it. Like, but it's like, no, like at what point, like I'm looking for some forms of
Bam and Munker in cahoots.
I'm looking for some forms of optimism, bro. And at this point, bro, I just cannot see it after a game like this. You guys need to help me be optimistic. I want at least one optimistic point from each one of you. Like, Clutch, you first. Because I know it's going to be the hardest question for you to answer all night.
They can play better.
Thanks. Insightful, as always, Clutch. Michael.
Oh wait, no, I got a different one. A trade is coming. How's that?
Oh, that tickles my fancy a little bit. Do tell, Clutch. You know, when you tease people like that, they want you to go into details. They want to know exactly what package.
Why are you doing your crack Ethan voice, man?
Oh, welcome to the latest episode of 5 on the Flow, baby.
Brian, I don't think Brian's ever seen that.
No, I've heard it before on
Okay.
On the Clutch Corner, but that's a great impersonation.
Tomorrow night.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's a plug. Make sure you check out the Clutch Corner tomorrow night at 8:00. Make sure you check out Michael Christian. I think I'm gonna get the name right this time. I don't know the damn name. It's Game
Night. You said
Night.
game time every time, bro. It's game night.
Damn it!
I've got
Damn it.
I've got Alana on tomorrow, so that'll be fun.
I've listened to it too. Like, I listened to every episode
good.
and I still don't know the
I know,
name of the
you're
damn
good.
show.
I
But
know.
You
I'm
listen to it?
yeah, I forgot. I forgot what it's.
Appreciate it, Adam. That's
but-
why you got bumped for Ira Winderman, you bump.
Oh yeah, my dog gonna have Ira Winderman on there. Did I get to everybody about their one positive? No, I think we went off.
You stopped on Adam.
yeah, you got one
Go
down.
to Jonathan. Go to Jonathan. I'll go last. I don't know.
Okay, Ramlakai, what's the positive, bro?
We got 2 All-Stars in Jimmy and Bam, and then
What?
we got Reddish.
We do?
Yeah,
we have maybe one this
Wait,
year.
oh, you're talking about it like during at some point in their careers, not right now.
No, this year they're gonna be all stars. As long as fans are voting.
You wanna put money on it?
Oh,
Yeah,
Jimmy,
I don't think so.
Jimmy
I don't think
Butler?
so.
I'm gonna
Jimmy
have to
Butler
look,
gonna be an
look at the
all-star?
rest of the field.
Whatever your paycheck
But,
looks like
hey.
for 5 reasons, I'll take the whole thing.
What did
Yeah,
Jimmy
I
have
mean-
tonight? Jimmy came back.
It's
Jimmy came back from injury, scored 30 points. Tonight he had what?
Wait,
I'm trying to find
Jonathan.
it.
Wait, Jonathan. Before you make your point, put that comment back up for me, please.
Christian,
pay
listen,
for-
we're so happy you donated, and the comment just made it even better. You
Thank
could have
you.
made this comment without the money because that's so great.
Oh, thank you for them. But he says Peyton Pritchard count as a random scrub heat killer if he averages 8 points in an insurrection. He's responsible for our COVID issues. He probably don't wear masks, or he wears them but beneath his nose.
Hey, there's a
He
player
pulled
on
him
the
down.
there's a player on the Hornets who's been balling since that insurrection. So I don't know.
Somebody said, "Can I pronounce anything with a PI?" It feels like I'm spitting in his face. Poor Mike. I don't give a fuck. I'm sorry. Go ahead. You were making a point, Ramadan.
Yeah, I mean, 30 points last game. He had like 25. What would he have tonight? 25 points.
tonight.
Yeah, 25, 9 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 steals. 2 games coming back right off of that. If he continues a campaign like this, he can be an all-star. You know,
That's
what
a
I mean?
really I just feel like that's a
He'll
really
also-
crowded front court in the East, right? Like
True,
you
true.
can't put him
If
at
they-
guard.
That's
He'll
fair
also
enough.
break
Yeah, that's
his leg
fair.
by the
Listen,
playoffs.
Hey, listen, I've been saying this since like 5 games ago. I said you're causing a problem because when Jimmy comes back, he's going to have to score 30 points per game for you to have a shot to beat garbage team, which means he has to do that. And other people have to show up to beat good teams. That by the time we do get to the playoffs, if he is healthy, which I think he can be, but won't be, he's going to be tired as hell. He didn't even make it through the bubble last season. Like you're asking too much for this one guy. Somebody else has to step up, and that person's not on this team. They're just not.
Well, you'll have 2 guys giving you all-star numbers. How about that? 2 guys giving you all-star numbers, and then you have a shitload of trade assets that we can go get another all-star with. So that's
True.
my positives, and we're not that far off from that.
How are they gonna get traded for an all-star if they're not playing well enough to get traded?
I mean, they have intrinsic value. Two players that have the most
Intrinsic value?
I
are
like
Duncan
that phrase.
Robinson.
Let him finish.
Duncan Robinson and Tyler Hero, because those guys are shooters that are still, well, Hero is still viewed to have a decently high ceiling, maybe something like a CJ McCollum or something like that down his career, where he's crafty, obviously can't use his body to create space or separate himself, but use his craftiness to get points. So somebody like a CJ McCollum, and then Duncan is just a phenomenal shooter. So you pair those 2 guys with a bunch of picks, a couple of other young guys, we can go out and get pretty much everybody or beat almost everybody other than 2 or 3 teams in a deal to go get somebody else.
Look,
Yo, wait,
Jonathan-
if it was Selena Gomez that gave Jimmy COVID, bro,
no.
I never listened to her music, but I'll buy some albums to burn them.
Oh, let's thank God that Tyler's roommate was a false positive.
Whoa.
I think that was reported.
Mm-mm.
No?
Mm-mm.
He played tonight, so I'm figuring
He
that
just
whoever.
played. He just played. That's all we know.
Sure. Okay, whatever. Thank God Tyler didn't have COVID. So otherwise this loss would have been a whole lot worse. Brian, what are your positives?
My positive is that, historically Heat teams have done better in the second half of the season. So at the very least, I think that they're poised for a run, after the break. But this team is still getting healthy. They're still trying to come together and figure out and refigure out, I should say, the chemistry. They got a few weak games coming up to figure things out. So there's a good chance that, at least during the Wizards games, they find something that works, and hopefully going forward, it sticks and guys find their rhythm again.
I don't really know what to say. I'm scared to say anything now, guys. I feel like I gave away the golden goose. But just for clarification, I have no sources. I am not an insider. I am just on the goddamn post-game shows. So yeah, we've been going for about 55 minutes. I'm done talking about this damn game because I'm not looking forward to the next one. I'm going to watch because I have to. But this has not been fun for me this season. I have not had fun watching this team. I'm just being honest. I have not had fun watching this team. It's not been enjoyable, and I have not had fun talking about it.
Listen, I'd rather watch the freaking NFL Pro Bowl again and that garbage Madden game they had yesterday. Than
I didn't even know the
this
Pro Bowl was on
team.
yesterday. I was like, I did not even
It was
know that
trash.
happening.
Don't even bother. It was trash.
They did like some versus thing where like DeAndre Hopkins
It
versus
was trash. It just
Jalen.
became them complimenting each other. It was all garbage.
Yeah, it's weird. Either way, somebody
Trades-
tell me. Trades?
Trades are coming. Trades are coming.
When, Adam, that's the issue.
March 5th.
Okay, so there we
late.
go. March 5th is actually getting closer.
Okay, there we go. That's only
That's like
10.
that's a month away.
We're gonna be
Why
like
not?
That's
Why
only
not
9
next
more
week?
losses.
What's wrong with next week? That's when the cheerleader can get. You know what?
that's next week.
That's
Next
for tomorrow.
week, you know it's February 1st and not March 1st, right?
Oh my God. Of course he doesn't know, Michael. So let's get to paying the bills. So this is sponsored by Biscayne Bay Brewery, Manscaped, shave your balls, use the promo code 5RSN. Prize Picks, use the code 5. Seltzer Mayberg, 5 Reasons Realtor. We got something else, bro. It's like the stat thing.
Miami
bro.
Grill.
Did we get free subs out of that? But
Corner.
we already said some shit about that. But I'm talking about the sponsors right now. Clutch Corner don't sponsor nothing.
I'm sponsoring you.
Who? Check my bank account, homie. I ain't seen nothing from you. Like, bro? It's the new one with the stats and shit like that, bro. I don't remember the name, but there's, huh?
Best ever.
There we go. Best ever. Oh, somebody said Big Face Coffee. Hey, if we could get a sponsorship from them, that'd be lit. But I'm pretty sure.
I don't think Jimmy's gonna like us after tonight's show.
Caleb,
Hey, they say Jimmy like the truth, right? The brutal honesty. Tell Jimmy to come see you, boy, about this brutal honesty. I'll tell his ass to his face. Hey, bro, this shit ain't it.
Royal,
Stop
Caleb
taking
says,
threes.
trades are not coming. Adam's vague wisdom ain't tricking me.
Dang, they got you, Adam. They found out the truth.
Oh, listen, they already done figured Adam out. He comes on here, says random one-liners, and then everybody retweets his shit 1,000 times. I'm trying to get like that when I grow up, where I can say ambiguous shit, and people think I'm saying something deep. Anyways, thank you guys for joining us. Thanks to my guy, Jonathan Romlicon, Brian. Thanks to Clutch. Thanks to Michael. Thank you guys for joining me. Thank you guys in the comments for making this more lit than it would be without you, and we'll see you guys next game. Good job, guys.